For all the Black Americans saying ICE isn't our problem, you do realize that they're kidnapping Black Americans too, right? And they're just saying, oh, we thought they were African. We thought they were illegal immigrants.
Why are you in January of 2026 bringing up something that occurred in 2025 in October that since then Chicago has gone to great strides in trying to prevent ICE from having any semblance of power in deciding how they choose to operate and where they choose to go about their operations?
And then they will detain you for days, sometimes weeks, so that they can have their way with you in the ICE detention center while they figure out that you're an American citizen. In fact, that's exactly what happened to this lady right here. She's an American citizen. They detained her for 2 days and kept her in that detention center. And this is what they're doing with so many people.
I don't know about any of you, but I, for one, don't necessarily understand how somebody based upon no evidence whatsoever is comfortable saying that I, as a black person, if I were to walk outside and go to the store and peruse about my daily escapades, will be kidnapped by ICE, and then, I guess, held for days or weeks until they figure out who I am, just so that they can kick me to the curb without giving me proper medication for my bruising anus. And I also don't understand how we're bringing up a story about a woman who claims that she will be in the history books for what she's done for combating ICE when she was detained, when it seems like, based upon video that's come out, she's the dumbass that decided to try to spit on an ICE agent, which then led to her being arrested by ICE.
And I am proud. I am proud to say that I've survived ICE. I'm proud to say that I stood up for what is right. And many people are saying, including my family and friends, that I will go down in history. And I will carry this on my shoulders. Here I am, speaking in front of everyone, and there's cameras recording me. Hi, everyone who's watching me right now. I'm Somali. I'm proud to be Somali. To me, being Somali isn't just eating bananas with rice. It's a lot. It's like it's an interesting thing. It's very hard to describe what it means to be Somali and what it means to be American, but it's like a cultural fusion. It's kind of like the bananas and rice. You know, people don't really see, like, you know, you know, people don't think, oh, you can eat bananas with rice, but that's what it's like to be Somali and American. It's like that combination of banana and rice, but you're gonna get what I mean. So what I'm trying to say is, people might be confused by me being Somali, but then when they hear my voice, they say, this girl is very American. There's something American about her. So like my family says, you're so American. You're so American. There's something American about you. But then when other people see me, they're like, there's something Somali about you. You're really Somali, you know? So that's what it's like. You know, people always trying to assume what you are, but they know you're both. So they cannot separate the two. They just want to say, oh, you're this, you're that, but that's what it is. It's to be both. So, yeah, so I got kidnapped by ICE.
Not really certain how you're going to end up being in the history books like that, but, you know, many people are trying their hardest to sound like heroes right now.
If you're not white, they will target you. If they just have a bad day, they just feel angry or feel extra racist that day, they'll target you, kidnap you, beat you, throw you in the back of a truck, and take you to some random ICE detention center. There was one citizen that they actually deported to a whole nother country, and she was a U.S. citizen.
That's a really interesting concept. What happened to the white woman that didn't get arrested? Oh, they shot her.
This is no longer about left versus right. This is no longer even political. It's just straight up racism against anybody who isn't white. If it was about them not working, then why is ICE showing up to their jobs to arrest them and deport them? If it was about them not paying taxes, then why is ICE using the IRS to find them? And if it was about them not being here legally, then why is ICE waiting for them at their court hearings where they are going to follow the legal proceedings of how to become a citizen here and how to be a legal resident here? It's never been about any of that. It's always been about race. Always. If you're not white, you are their target. Right-wingers, people who support ICE, are white, and they will never, ever admit that it's about race for them.
Again, just fuck Renee Good and fuck whatever she was doing. She was white, so I guess a part of that doesn't even matter to you people. But for some reason, we got to bring it back to the coloreds, because without the coloreds, we're not going to be able to do anything about it, because apparently if you're not white, you're the target. But then when I show you a white woman who got shot by ICE, then all of a sudden we don't have anything to say.
They want anybody who isn't white to be beaten, kidnapped, deported. They want punishment. They want violence against anyone who isn't white. That is their goal.
To even consider the statements made by this young man, you have to be someone who ignored an entire presidential campaign based around several things, one of them being, hey, the reason your life sucks is because of illegal immigrants. The reason why things are the way they are right now is because we brought in all these illegal immigrants. And the only way to get things back the way they were is if we deport the illegal immigrants. I don't know why there are some people choosing to think that this wasn't a part of the campaign trail, but surprise, surprise, they said they were going to do something. They got voted in and they're doing it. That's why we're here today. Shock of all shocks to nobody. Secondly, as it's been documented by several black people since Trump got elected, people are tired. People need a break. Politics and the constant negativity of the world, it exhausts people. It's an understandable thing. And if they want to sit back and not deal with something that they deem doesn't affect them, perfectly fine. If they feel as though it's not something they have to worry about, it's their right to back away, take a break, and then come back when they feel rejuvenated. Trying to signal boost a story that has nothing to do with anyone except the one individual who got themselves in a predicament for apparently spitting on officers and then getting themselves in handcuffs, that don't really correlate to any grand scheme of what you would want people to pay attention to. All it does is make people see you and say, who's this pretentious white fuck sitting here trying to make us care about something that don't really affect us? Who is this pretentious little bastard thinking that he has the say on how we should be operating based off of a story that don't affect us? How does this person feel confident speaking as if he can dictate how we should care about a story in ways that would make anyone see it and say, oh, why don't you care? Why are you saying this doesn't affect you? Because to some people, it doesn't.
For all the black Americans saying ICE isn't our problem.
Nah. Black people are on vacation. White people, you fix this.
The reason why y'all want black Americans to be affected by ICE so bad is because y'all are still convinced that we are immigrants, and we are not. We are not. We've been here for over 400 years. And for most of us, our ancestors have been here even before the slave trade. Most of us have American indigenous lineage that we can actually trace because a lot of our families were reclassified from Indian to Negro. And there's proof that we were reclassified. We are not immigrants. They can't send us back nowhere. Where they going to send me back? North Carolina? South Carolina? Georgia? Florida? That's the only place that we can go. We're not immigrants. This is not our battle. Furthermore, most of the people who are now being deported, or most of the people that are immigrants here, have always had a stigma against Black Americans. We're lazy, we're dirty, we're ghetto, we're loud, we're uneducated, we're this and we're that. But now that ICE is outside, we're supposed to be on the front lines of the same people who come here with these mentalities about us and don't even know us. I don't understand that. This is not our battle. This has nothing to do with us. And all the Black Americans who want to go outside and put themselves on a front line and risk their lives, that's on them. But don't expect for the majority of us to be out there risking our lives for something that don't got nothing to do with us. Now, when it comes to immigration, me, myself, I don't mind immigration as long as it's legal. I worked in the immigration office for a period of time back in 2016. And when I say there are hundreds of thousands of files of people trying to get into this country. And I'm talking about people who have been trying for 15 plus years to get into this country the legal way. And they still haven't been able to get in yet because of whatever is going on. And yet we're trying to be pressured to fight on a front line for people who jumped in front of all of those people, okay, and cross borders illegally. Right now, if I take my ass to the Mexican border and think that I'm just going to cross into Mexico, there's going to be consequences and repercussions for my ass if I get caught. If I try to take myself to the Canadian border right now, there's going to be consequences and repercussions if I do that illegally. So why is America expected to be the country where people can just come in and out as they please, undocumented? We don't know who you are. We don't know what's going on. We don't know where you came from. We don't know if you're running from something. We don't know if you're a prisoner somewhere else and now you over here trying to sneak and hide. We don't know what the fuck is going on. Furthermore, let's look into how many black women have been unalived by illegal immigrants. One of my good friends is the sister of Dakara Thompson. Dakara Thompson was a 19-year-old beautiful woman, young woman, who was unalived by an illegal immigrant. He raped her, he SA'd her, he unalived her, and then threw her off a bridge. Okay, this was back in the late August, early September of 2025. So this is rather recent. Okay, and her family is now in court dealing with that. The gag to that story is that same illegal immigrant that unalived that beautiful young lady had been caught on a DUI a couple of months to a year before that, if I'm not mistaken, and nobody checked to see if he was actually supposed to be here or not. So he could have gotten deported and that baby girl would still be here. So no, this is not my fight. This is not our fight. We are not expected to be on the front lines for everybody, while everybody continuously disrespects us and undermines the things that we have going on. We have all of these people who are of Caribbean heritage and so on and so forth in politics that speak against reparations because they say it's not fair or it's going to put us in debt and all of this other shit. But then we're also supposed to go fight for you? Are y'all crazy? No. This don't got shit to do with me. My people have been here. I myself have my tribal ID because I did the work for my genealogy and traced it back and was able to prove that I'm Indigenous American. And a lot of us have. So no.
You could try your pie in the sky mindset of trying to galvanize the troops and get everybody to care. Unfortunately, you need to live in the real world where you will find people who do care and will want to help and will want to support and will want to speak out. You will also run into people who don't fucking care. And when it comes to them, my advice for anyone who's a little bit miffed at them, don't engage with them. They might tell you the reason why they're not engaging or they're not protesting or speaking out or saying this. Just let whatever they say fall off your shoulder, because the more you try to demonize them into caring, the more they're going to find a reason not to give a fuck, and then it's going to make you look a little bit slow. And I think trying to be late to the party on subject matter that pertains to what happened in Chicago and falsely characterizing a story about another individual in the here and now makes it easier for people to not give a fuck. Every day, it seems like somebody's trying to get people to care, but the way they go about it just leaves people disinterested and not wanting to give a fuck. And maybe that's the intention. Maybe it's not the intention. And if it's not, boy, you got to try a little bit better in getting people to care, because the random need to guilt trip is just not effective as you would want it to be. You should have peeped it when it came to the presidential election and how motherfuckers tried their hardest to guilt trip people into voting Democrat, and that didn't really work in succession. So you would think, again, I feel like I've said this throughout the entire week, you would take that whiteboard of all these great ideas you got to get people to care and wipe that shit clean, because it's not fucking working. And for everybody else, let me know. Do you think it's effective to guilt trip people into caring? Or do you think that there's a better way in getting people to see something that is deemed unfair or a little bit discriminatory and get them to care? I welcome all forms of advice or ideas in the comments, because you know what? We got to help these motherfuckers out because they need some new strategy. They need somebody who can help them out, and I feel like we could do that just for them. I will see you all in the next one. Mwah. Goodbye.